Hello, everyone, and welcome to What's Your Mess? Mental, Emotional, Social Status of Life. I am your host, Tracey D. Armstrong, and we're here again with another amazing guest. I'm going to go ahead and let her introduce herself.
Thank you so much, Tracy, for having me, first and foremost. And thank you, audience, for listening in. Me too. I'm really excited to be here. I'm Dedee Cai. I am the founder and CEO of a company called Fits to Profit. Here, I married my love for business and holistic health with um, anything that comes with mental health as well because of my background. We designed our company with the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspect in mind to teach the CEO to take care of herself on all levels so she can be performing at her peak performance. And on the side note, on a personal level, I am also a mom of two. I have a 7-year-old girl and a 4-year-old boy. I now live in Sarasota, Florida, the Sunshine State, with my husband. We recently moved from Northern Virginia, DC area, so we're new. This is our new home here. So I'm really excited to be here, and yeah, I'm looking forward to share with you what my mess is all about and why I'm even here in the first place. So thank you for
Well,
having me.
I thank you for being here because I appreciate you sharing your message, sharing your time, and all of those things that you do now. I know that you wasn't always at that particular level. So can you share with the audience what was one of your messes or situations that you've had to go through?
Okay. Well, we only have a certain amount of time today, so I'll give you the shorter version of where the mess was. And so, long story short, I did what my parents wanted me to do as a first generation immigrant, to go to school, to do well in school, to get a job, and then work hard and you'll be happy. And I did that. I did everything right up until when I got the job and lasted for 6 months in my position. Okay, so that was my first crossroad, and I didn't know really honestly what I wanted to do. However, at the same time, I was lucky enough to have an opportunity to start a brick and mortar business with my mom as a business partner. We opened a restaurant together, and at the same time, I was helping her run her salon restaurant and salon businesses. So yeah, I did that from scratch, you name it. I wore all of the hats. We just had a building, so I had to get all the permits. I had to hire everyone. I had to come up with what menu are we going to have, the operation, you name it, every single element that you need to operate a restaurant. And I did it without any knowledge. I've never had a business before, nor did I even ever worked in a restaurant industry besides, being an attendant, like, actually vacant or visited restaurant. So
Mhm.
that's to say, it was an amazing, incredible experience because I wanted the American dream, right? Like I wanted to be successful. We put all of our life savings together, and yes, we have made it. Well, we did at the same time became the American dream became an American nightmare.
Oh, wow.
Very fast because I was wearing all of the hats. I was working 18-hour days. I was dating my boyfriend at the time, my husband now. I never saw him. I feel so bad for him having to come help us in the morning, stop during lunch hour from his work to help us out, and then not only that, come afterwards. So anyways, that just some elements to really consider, that this was a great thing from the outside. I really didn't know what I was doing. I
Mhm.
knew I was engaged with my customers and things like that. We were like that hole in the wall that everybody knew. So the community felt really nice, right? Like, and the business felt good because I was working with my mom and all, but it's not exactly what I had in mind when it came to being fulfilled in my career and living the American dream. And so I was burnt out, after 5 years doing that. I said, Mom, I don't think this is for me. I don't think I'm meant to do this. And right around the same time, my boyfriend and I decided to get engaged, and we were getting married. And I also lost my best friend to suicide that week. It was supposed to be the happiest time of my life, and it was. At the same time, it was tragedy. It was so tragic that how everything happened. I buried her July 4th, and our wedding was July 7th. Her death brought me to think that I actually was suffering from depression and anxiety in silence.
Mm-hmm.
So I was forced to take a big step back to take care of my own health. So again, right? Like everything what I put on a facade, an armor that everything was great from the outside, running this business and living the American dream, all of the things, I was completely empty and I felt broken, inside. So I had to take another big step back and consider what I want to do with my life. And I start taking care of myself on a physical level. I start exercising, which led to long distance running, which brought me to yoga. And then before I knew it, I wanted to study more about nutrition and how is it to live on a holistic level when it comes to taking care of myself. And during that program, I was taught to turn it into a business. Like the vocational piece was mind blowing for me. I wanted to be a therapist when I was in school. It just didn't happen because, I got into business with my mom, but came full circle. I said,
Mm-hmm.
wow, this is just like being a therapist, but even better. I don't have to worry about all the years schooling and writing prescriptions. So
Right.
I jumped right onto it. I started my business and I started pitching holistic health coaching programs, and nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wanted to buy my service. But what was really interesting, Tracey, was that although people were not interested in holistic health coaching program, they were actually curious and wanted me to teach them how to start their own businesses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I basically fell into business strategy and development.
Oh.
So yeah, so a mess became a lesson, became an opportunity, right? Like I really believe that every obstacle is an opportunity from that. And I start coaching. I did really well for the first 5 years. I really love it. I really had opportunity to even take my clients from 0 to 6 figures really fast, and it's all great. However, what I also felt was missing, and the conversations that I was having with my clients were really interesting. Like we only talk very little about strategy and tactic. Most of the time I found myself talking to my clients about why they're not taking action, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we have a
Mm-hmm.
plan for them and it's more about why is that not done? Like what is happening? So I came to realize, just like how I have been healing myself this whole entire time, alternatively from depression, anxiety, all of those things, is because I was nourishing myself and growing and healing myself from self-development.
Mm-hmm.
So made me realize, oh my goodness, this whole game is about mindset. It's
Right.
it is all about mindset. So then I realized, I was like, not only was I experiencing the same thing, how my life has been changing so much because I was dedicating time on working on myself. And these entrepreneurs I was working with, they have support from me from the strategy side of things, but they're not really getting that much support from the mindset because that was not my promise to them. At the same time, I was slowly shifting my business. And hence, up until this point, the past couple 3 years, I've been honing in on really building a program where I'm really supporting the women entrepreneurs to focus on the mindset side of things, would still really help them with their bottom line, but ultimately so much more transformative than just giving them the strategy. So that's what my focus is now. And so there you go. As you can see, right? Failure after failure after failure, a mess and another mess and another mess, which brought me to where I am today, is that mindset is everything. I don't care where you are in life. If you want to be a better version of yourself, if you want to do better in life and all of that, it requires you to have the right mindset, right? To get up, to restart, and to keep moving forward and to keep doing the things that is required of you, so that way you can create whatever it is that you want to create. My biggest mission in life is that because I'm a first generation female entrepreneur in my family, I want to teach female entrepreneurs to really build wealth from the inside out. And
Mm-hmm.
right now we have a program coming up this fall I'm so passionate about. It's teaching them how to charge their worth to make the first $100,000, because I'm telling you, the first $100,000 is all mindset, whether you believe it or not. I don't care what you say, but if you haven't made it yet, it's time to check in with yourself. Like, what do you need to do? Are you showing up as that six-figure CEO that you say you want to be? Because if chances are, if you're not there yet, you're probably not operating from that place.
That's right. And I know you just unpacked a lot right there.
I know. That's my
And
story,
that's
girl. I mean,
amazing.
that's like,
Amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. I do want to go back though. I want to go back because and your mental and emotional part, you said, because like I understand you were working crazy hours. You were all, not all over the place, but you didn't have time for family. You didn't have time for those things. So mentally and emotionally, you fell into kind of like that depression, anxiety aspect. I just want to ask you, how did you change your mindset mentally and emotionally? Like, what did you do so that you did come out to get to this point?
so truly, it was from my best friend's death was when I have to completely revisit my reason for living.
Mhm.
Right. That's when, and that's when I was like, wait, she felt this way about herself. This is how I feel about myself. But I didn't take that direction yet. I'm here trying to heal myself from just being busy and try not to think about it and etc. and things like that. So I have to really reconsider what is it that, what is it that I need, right? And again, it was so devastating. I think it was more of the thought of, oh my gosh, I wish no one ever has to go through what I have to go through, or what I went through. So I
Mhm.
think the first thought was, I have the responsibility now, right? Knowing what I know, to heal myself first. So perhaps share my experience with others who are suffering in silence just like I was, to make a
Mhm.
difference.
Okay.
And
Right.
that's I think that was the relevant. Unfortunately, it has to be someone taking her life for me to have that revelation. But I didn't know what I didn't know. My normal was being anxious, or like always feeling like I'm on the verge of you know a panic attack or something. But I was living with it. That was my normal. I thought that was okay.
Mhm.
And I thought
Mhm.
talking down on myself and still like putting on a front or like a happy face was the way to live. Like, I was trained to work hard. I was trained to not complain. I was trained to like, girl, no matter what happens, you do it.
Right.
You do it with a smile, and
Yep.
you do it to your best ability. That's how
Mhm.
I was raised. And thank goodness, I that's still part of me. I'm not saying that that part of me is gone. Actually, it's actually got me this far in life. But
Mhm.
I think to answer your question of how did I decide, it was not just like one single moment, but the biggest thing was losing my best friend, and then having to reflect on my own life,
Mhm.
and then making a decision to, wow, I was not like, from face value, I wasn't taking care of myself. I was not exercising when I used to love exercising. I was that little girl that was exercising in her own room when I was growing up, in middle school, so where was that little girl? Like, I'm not taking care of myself. So
Right, right. Because you had thrown yourself into the career, thrown yourself into the work, and that caused you not to be the person that you were. And with all of that, and I wanted to ask that question because if there's anyone in the audience listening that's hearing you and they're going through that, they're like, yeah, but how do I get there? Like you said, you have to revisit your life and what you really want out of life. And so, if there's someone listening that is in that space, what words or advice would you be able to give them to help them come through?
yeah, it's a great question. I would love to share that. Just like how I was asked to revisit, right? Like, to reevaluate. Ask yourself, like, it's really simple, right? Ask yourself, are you happy? and be honest, right?
Mhm.
And look around, right? Like, first question is, are you happy? And then look around, is this the life that you ever have envisioned to be living? And if it's not, you can have a decision to make.
Mhm. Yep. And I let you pause right there because anybody listening, you need to pause right there and ask yourself, are you happy?
Yeah, right. Like,
And
because we are sorry, Tracy. I'm
no,
passionate about this, as you can see, is we're going so fast. Most of us are on autopilot. We
yeah,
operate life on default, and then we blame everyone else for not having what we want to have. Well, we're the only one that can go after what we want to have, right? No one, we have a choice in everything in life. And
yeah,
you are 100% responsible for what you do have in your life right now and what you don't already have. Period.
period. And you can't keep blaming other people for what you do or don't have. That is so true. And you say you do you do business coaching, right? But at the same time, within that business coaching, it ends up being about mindset.
Yep.
So if
So
there's someone that I was going to say wants to connect with you, go ahead and let them know exactly like what you can do and how you can help.
yes, absolutely. So I'm on social media. I mean, definitely on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. As you can see, my name is Dedee Cai. You can find me on there. I also have a website too. It's fitstoprofit.com. But really, I'm just a message away. If you're like, look, I'm stuck, I don't know what I want to do in life or in my business, I'm a message away. Because someone had done that for me, I want to be able to pay that forward. And that's why I'm speaking on every single podcast that would have me because of that. Like, I want people to see there are resources. You just have to seek for it, right? And so I'm just a message away, first and foremost. And secondly, again, it's really asking yourself, if you literally either, like, I don't want to be morbid, but because of my experience, like, I am that. Like, I get up every morning and be like, dude, this is like, I'm gonna treat today as if it's my last day, because the reality is I don't know if
That's
it is
right.
or not. And I'm just gonna treat it as is, it's my last day. So I better be doing something that I love doing, right?
Mhm.
With, like, for me, one of the favorite things is to speak on this podcast because I want my voice to be heard. I want my story to be told so that somebody is going to take action right today and not wait because tomorrow is too late, right? So I would ask the person of, like, who who are you being right now? Like, what are you happy with who you are being right now? Right? And
Mhm.
chances are you're the only person that can answer that. Just like how I was who I was, and that was my normal. And then tragedy happened, and then I had to ask myself that question. I was like, wow, I have been wearing this armor this whole entire time. I did not seek out for support because, like, I was feeling all of the things that she was feeling, but I refused to do what she did. I'm not saying that what she did was wrong or right. That was her destiny, that was her life. But at the same time,
Mhm.
that was a clear example for me to say, if I have breath today, I need to live. And if I am going to live, how am I going to live my life productively that I can create a difference at the same time in others' lives?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I like how you said that. Like you said, you don't want to be morbid about it. But if this was your last day, if you wake up today and it was your last day, ask yourself, what are you going to do with this day? Are you happy with where you are right now? Because if not, then it's time to seek help, seek others that can help you get to where you really want to be. But asking yourself that, where do you really want to be?
Yeah,
And
we have so, sorry, we are so uh fortunate. We
mhm,
have so much resources. Listen, Google, YouTube, ask a neighbor, go to church, ask, like, there's even a mental health program
yep,
at church. I'm a volunteer in that, on that team. I coach one-on-one with people. on that team. Like if you, so that I'm saying all that to say that you're the only person, if you're listening, you're the only person that responsible for your life.
Mm-hmm.
God
Yes.
can't help you if you're spiritual. God can't help you if you're not allowing him to work through you, meaning you have to do what it takes to get yourself out of the rut, to show up, to tell him that I am ready, right? I'm ready to do this work, because this
Mm-hmm.
whole thing, this whole entire thing, entrepreneurship, life, and all of things, is a spiritual experience. And we're on this physical journey as just physical being, but we're really like, we're really like our light beings. Like we're not meant to be here forever, but we're also here to do work, right? Like
Yeah.
to be in contribution to ourselves and others around us. That's
Mm-hmm.
how the world rotates, right? Like that's how the world spins. Like the I guess what is it? The trash person comes to support us, right? And like look at, like we all are connected. Like we're here
Yep.
to support each other.
Yes. 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 I'm like, I feel your passion, and I'm like, yes, because we are all connected,
Yes.
and there's so many resources out there. And like she said, if you need to speak with someone, you want some coaching, she's only a message away. And what I will do, for those, make sure you listen and watch to the end. I will have all of her information at the end and the outro, her links and everything, so that you can connect more with Miss Dedee. And I just want to thank you for sharing your story, because I know that someone out there in this audience that's listening will be impacted and will be encouraged by your words. Because I know personally a lot of people that are going through that same type of 18-hour work day and don't stop and have to keep going, and anxiety, and just feel like that's the way life is supposed to be. And
Yeah.
so thank you for sharing your message. Do you have any last words of encouragement for anyone?
Yes, I would say go as far as you can see. Take that first step. Even if you're like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, I don't know what to do. Yes, you do. Just take the first step. Perhaps it's just literally being humble enough, right? Just like me, humble enough to reach out to someone for help. Just be like, I don't, a neighbor, a friend, whoever it is, or maybe a stranger. Maybe it's better for you to connect with a stranger to tell them what you're going through, but do something, right?
Mhm.
Do something and allow yourself for once to be supported. That's a
Exactly.
gift. That's a gift, because you are worthy. You are worthy to be supported. You are worthy to be successful. Only you can allow yourself to receive all the goodness that life has to offer today. Like, but take that first step. Just go as far as you can see. Just do that first action, reach out to someone. That's just my
Yeah.
message.
No, that's what I was going to say. And I'm going to leave it right there. I'm not even going to add on to what you just said. And as we wrap up another episode of What's Your Mess, I thank Miss Dedee again for her story and her words of encouragement and words of empowerment. And I'm just going to leave you all with a powerful quote that helps me get through the day. If you want to be sad, keep thinking about the past. If you want to be anxious and worried, think about the future. But if you want to be happy, focus on the present day and be grateful for the things that you have. This is Tracey D. Armstrong with What's Your Mess. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and let us know if these messages are changing your life. Have a good one, y'all.